because of shyness, I think, yes, I went in the wrong directions. Was led astray, and hung out with some of the wrong crowd, and just as a part of releasing my inner frustrations or whatever,
For the month of October, we're focusing on men's mental health. Partnering with Uniting Annesley and Lockhaven, we're having raw and honest discussions around mental health. In this episode, I got to speak to Don Brander to understand what mental health means to him. If you find anything in these episodes distressing or you need support, please reach out to Lifeline Australia or Beyond Blue, who can also offer support.
But thanks, Don. Thanks for coming on the podcast and having a chat today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I was just going to run through a couple of questions. How do you find expressing how your mental health is going? How do you feel about expressing how your mental health is?
Well, maybe I find it a bit difficult to relate about how my mental health is. To get to reveal all that is going on inside of me, and what might be underlying, what the underlying problems might be, etc. And
Has that changed over time?
my understanding.
Or that sort of expressing it and being happy to be open about how you might be feeling?
Yes, well, I did find it difficult to relate a lot because I was quite a shy person when I was young, with somebody I knew well, perhaps, I could relate to, but those I didn't know so well, maybe more trouble than relating to maybe people in official capacities or whatever, maybe a bit of trouble with relating to them, people that I looked up to, or that were in high positions, so shyness was a problem, and I think so because of shyness, I think, yes, I went in the wrong directions. So was led astray, and hung out with some of the wrong crowd, and just had no. As a part of releasing my inner frustrations or whatever,
Do you think there was a lot of stigma around mental health growing up?
Yeah, I do, yes. Well, back then, it was... you'd hear things like, they'd say, oh, you'll end up in Cullen Park, the mental health hospital at over there at near Roselle or Lilyfield.
Yeah.
The big mental health facility, and well, it didn't have a very good reputation, for instance, and if you were going to Cullen Park, it meant you were in a pretty bad way mentally, and that's the way I understood it. And I even heard some of my teachers in primary school saying, well, we might end up in Callan Park or something, you know,
So that was brought up even at...
talking about themselves even, you know.
Yeah.
Couple of teachers. But yeah, you'd hear that sort of thing, Cullen Park or mental health asylums, you know. That's where you'd go, you know, if you had mental health problems. It seemed like people with mental health problems were kind of, fairly stigmatised, if that's the word.
Yeah.
Frowned on. Kind of rejected and all that sort of thing, you know, because of their frailties or anxieties that they suffer, and defects, you know, that of course I think during younger days there was a fair bit of stigma around it, and
It's interesting that even teachers were bringing it up, but at such a young age. Like you said, at primary school, teachers were bringing that stuff up.
Yes. Yes, you used to hear that. People mention it, you know. And time to time, they're in Callan Park, or you might end up in, your understanding of Callan Park is it's a pretty horrible mental institution to end up in, you know. That's the feeling you had of it, you know, instead of a place where you might have good rehabilitation for the mental illness, you know.
Well, that's the thing, is it wasn't not looked at positively. It was more of a, you know, very much a negative thing. If you end up going there, sometimes it's going to help you. It's a negative thing which doesn't help.
Yeah.
You mentioned before that you were shy. Did you think that you do express yourself differently to other men around that sort of mental health side?
Yes, well, see, that's one of the things I did when I started drinking at early age. When I was 17, I started drinking because I got a job in the Bank of New South Wales, and I was transferred to a country town, a small country town, and a bank there, and they put me up in a hotel, in an old hotel near the bank, close to where the bank was that I was to work in, and it felt very lonely. Yeah, so I felt very lonely, and so I turned to the drink. Yeah, to let myself go, you know, as a lot of people did, to let themselves go to drinking and wild behaviour, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Joining in wild behaviour, that sort of thing. Didn't sort of follow the suggestions of why don't you join maybe the Scout group or some other group, you know, like that. you had the idea that they weren't sort of manly enough. You would incline to think more like you should play, you know, the more rugged things, pursuits like football, rugby league, or boxing, or having fights in the pub, for instance, you know.
Were you into...
When you have a few beers, you know, sort of start letting go of the aggression and taking people on, you know.
So
That's what I thought I had to do, you know, that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah. And the drinking started with you sort of feeling a bit of loneliness, being in that sort of regional town.
Yes, well, yes, I was in the hotel, yes, and yeah, I did feel quite isolated, lonely there, and yeah. So that was the thing to turn to, more or less, you know.
Did you end up playing any sports or anything like that?
Mainly I started playing golf mainly, and betting on the horses, gambling became a thing as well. Yeah. So I smoked too from an early age, so that was due to peer pressure. So unfortunately, I feel like that did a lot of damage, starting smoking at an early age when I was 12 due to peer pressure. So I drank and smoked and gambled too. So I gambled on the horses, and when I got older, it was the poker machines. So the trots and the poker machines. And so I had a problem with all three of those: gambling, smoking, and drinking. Yeah.
If it all started from moving to that town, and then once they sort of...
Oh well, I was smoking before I moved to the town, but that's when things really kicked in. Well, then I had the income then, when I was... I had a bit of income when I moved. I was moved to the town. I had the income then, and if anyone was going to, buy me a drink, I would, stick with them. If somebody was shouting me drinks, the odd person would. There was one fellow who used to shout me drinks, and for instance, when I ran out of money, I was only on a low income, so yeah.
Did it have a big impact on your work in the bank once the drinking started?
Yes, but also I didn't do that well at school, so I couldn't sort of get into my schoolwork as... Unfortunately, I think, yes, so that's another thing. I had an inferiority about being behind others in schoolwork, like not understanding that a lot of others had to work hard to do well at school or whatever they pursued, Just thinking you needed to have the ability to do well, you know, and not necessarily having to work hard at it, you know. And being fearful of not having the ability to do things well, you know.
I think even for myself, I think I found school, and I think the family pushed me too hard to work hard at school, and I always used to find it a bit of a chore going to school. A lot of the other kids were, they were already knew to be there to work hard to set themselves up later in life, but I just think it was something I had to go and do. I think I just enjoyed playing with my mates in the playground, playing soccer and stuff in the playground, but didn't really apply myself in the lessons.
Yes, yeah, that's the same with me, yeah. And, yeah, so...
Is there any techniques that have helped you with your mental health, or any services or anything that you recommend for anyone that might be struggling with it?
Well, I've been to support groups and for gambling, like Gamblers Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous for drinking. I haven't had a drink of alcohol for over 7 years. Nearly 7 years now.
Yeah.
I'm fearful about all the damage that did. And I'm still attending some Gamblers Anonymous meetings, but that sort of dropped off and a bit, I've got other health problems at the moment that sort of add to my not being able to get out to and about to meetings as much as I would have liked to, but there are phone numbers that I can call, like the helplines and that sort of thing, that can help. There's GA helplines, there's Lifeline. I haven't contacted Beyond Blue yet, but that's been recommended. So Gamblers Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous. I think those groups I found it very hard to say anything when I first went to GA, but now I can hardly say anything, but now I can, mention start opening up a fair bit now in meetings, and yes, and in AA too. So sometimes I can open up quite a bit, and now, and counselling. I have been to see some counsellors as well, so that's another thing. Yeah, but seeing other mental health support, like some psychologists or psychiatrists. Yeah. Perhaps I didn't think that was available when I was young. Maybe I thought when I was young, you shouldn't really be looking to get help about mental health problems. That's not the done thing.
Do you think it would have made a big difference if you had gone to those places younger in life? Do you think it would have helped if you did go to those services when you were younger? Would it have made a big difference, do you think?
If there were the support group services, yeah. Yes, I think it could have, yeah. It's always, you hear now how big a problem it is with teenagers, depression, etc. these days. And yeah, it's a big problem with teenagers. And I suffered the depression for many years. That sort of coincided with when I started smoking at the age of 12. I sort of suffered depression right through from the age of 12 right up until my, into my 20s. Yeah, I had a real problem with depression, and so if I really could have got the right sort of help back then, I think that's where they need to help out these days. When people are younger and being able to get through to them, to younger people.
Do you think it is a lot better these days?
There are more. I think there are more available avenues of support these days. Yeah. But still there's. You still see that there's a lot of problems with teenagers, like teenage violence around, like Brisbane and places like Alice Springs and in Queensland. Different places, there's a lot of teenage angst and violence going on. And now teenagers being led into it by criminals and that sort of thing. So I think, there needs to be a lot of help to get people, young people away from that bad element, get them into good social activities. And I haven't mentioned church yet, but church is having that connection with church is a good thing, and I'm trying to keep connected with the local church and some other churches. But the gambling has still been a problem in recent years, unfortunately. I think maybe it's been an escape to try and get away from various problems, health problems, and things that may not want to face up to,
Is there any recommendations that you'd give to other men that have been impacted by things like this?
Yes, always seek support. Yeah, don't isolate. Don't keep it all pent up. Don't keep your problems pent up inside you, and try and be able to find somebody to connect with, to discuss your problems, and support groups. Yes, so good, healthy church connections are a good thing. I find that, like I was out to church last night, and they had soup afterwards in their church hall, and gathered together to have some soup, and what have you after the church service, and they often do that sort of thing, a soup or a meal or that sort of thing, and these are good things. And the singing, of course, they have singing and lessons and in the Bible. So all these things and help to keep you healthy. Help to keep you happy and engaged. They're the sort of things that help you keep you heading off into the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's been the main advice today from everyone, is to not to sort of lock yourself away and try and deal with the problems by yourself, to go and seek that support, because there's plenty of it out there now.
Yes, and try to look for have a good outlook in life, and find good things to enjoy, activities, pursuits, relaxation, activities, and listening to music, meditation, and there's something I need to work at, some meditation, and trying to build healthier relationships.
It's great. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast and telling your story and giving those tips and advice. It's been really helpful. We appreciate having you on.
All right. Thank you.